wilderness management training. How would you respond if your boss informed you that for the next few days your job was to learn new skills in the mountains? Increasingly, Fortune 500 companies are mandating management training programs that look like this.
Attention! Bell!
While the current rage in management training is the Japanese Hell Camp, American businesses have been training executives outdoors since the early 70s. Outward Bound uses nature to teach team building. Their clients range from Pepsi and General Electric to local hospital executives.
Some of them came with an awful lot of anxiety, and oftentimes when you have a problem at the hospital, there's a level of anxiety. But I think they just transfer that and say, well, look what we did when we were together as a team up there. Let's figure out how to accomplish solving this problem together here.
Outward Bound includes briefings for clients who don't feel safe or fit to climb mountains, and they counsel those who fear their career could be damaged by their performance. While the Pecos River Learning Center also attracts Fortune 500 clients, their philosophy is, well, more philosophical. The center is the creation of Larry Wilson, author of the bestseller, Changing the Game, The New Way to Sell.
So we define winning as going as far as you can, using all that you've got.
So there's your chance to find out no matter what's there for you, you can do it if you set your mind to do it. So you scared?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really scared.
So can you step off the...
He thinks leaping off cliffs and poles help clients transcend fears and non-productive habits.
A lot of the old things that got us where we are today no longer work. And making that kind of a shift in our culture is a very significant task. And my goal is to involve the very senior people of our organization, bring them to a conference center like this, and have that cultural change happen.
Critics have claimed that the center doesn't tell corporations how their employees' minds are being changed. Fundamentalists have even charged that what's really taught is a theology. Larry Wilson of the Pecos River Learning Center is in our Chicago newsroom this morning, while Steve McCormick of Colorado Outward Bound is here in New York. And gentlemen, both of you, welcome. Would you say that these programs, and I'll lump them all together, do they do about the same thing, aim for the same goal, albeit any individual would say we do it best, or do you aim for different goals?
Well, in our case, Jane, our purpose is to help organizations change, to take advantage or be able to thrive in this global market that's changing. And in order to change, they're going to have to do it quickly. And it's not a one seminar or one event process. It's more like an 18-month to perhaps 3-year process. And our goal then is to help people tap into their courage and their creativity, to be able to see that they have other options, new ways of doing things. Because whatever got us where we are is not probably going to take us where we have to be.
Our basic goal is to help a group of, by and large, creative people remind themselves continuously of the fact that they are creative, that they can work together effectively, that they can show effective teamwork when they need to. But given a new set of challenges, they already have within them the creativity, the capabilities of responding to it well.
If Larry Wilson were here in the studio, he probably could see the skeptical expression on my face, as you are no doubt looking at, and I'm sure both of you see all the time. I'm not a believer. How would you make me believe it?
Well, the only way to really get you to believe it is to experience it. This is one of the advantages of this kind of learning, where people literally, it's not an intellectual process, it's an intellectual, emotional, total process of new learning, breaking old patterns.
We have a lady at the Pecos River program who's going to do something I can't conceive of doing. How high off the ground is she, Larry?
She's 160 feet off the ground. She's a 60-year-old woman who was an office manager.
And what is supposed to be happening to her creativity between the top and the bottom?
Well, in her particular case, which is a wonderful story, she went on to become a vice president for her company, realized actually as a metaphor that she'd really been holding back her potential. She felt like, you know, if she could do this, she could do anything. And what it gave her was an experience of her own power, her own courage. And she realized that in all of her life, that first step is what she's been holding back on. But on the other side of that step was joy and excitement and adventure, and those were the things that she was really looking for.
You use phrases that are straight out of the human potential New Age theology movement, don't you?
I wouldn't accept all those words as being defined as the same. Human potential, yeah. We believe that people have a lot more potential than they're using, and that our competitive advantage in the future from a business is going to be able to tap into people's more of their potential. Business, education, we've all been holding that back. We've been training people to play the game not to lose instead of playing the game to win.
Larry is the author of the 1 Minute Salesperson. And I think we just heard about a 1.5-minute pitch. Steve McCormick, is Outward Bound, are we going to find the same kind of, I called it jargon, I don't necessarily mean that to be pejorative, but...
Let's say no. We think that Outward Bound is tied into very fundamental values that have always been a part of American industry. They have to do with being an effective leader, being an effective team player. They have to do with the ability, when you sit down to solve a problem, to use your best skills and the best skills of the people who are sitting around the table.
Well, let's roll an Outward Bound tape. You're not going to send this lady over a zip line.
We're going to send her up a wall.
Up a wall.
Ready? 1, 2,
a sheer wall.
Very, very sheer.
Okay.
And can you tell me a success story that this woman went on to be a vice president or something?
This woman works for a hospital in Denver, and basically the hospital is there because they're requiring people at all levels of the organization to make some pretty fundamental leadership decisions about the quality of care they provide their people. What we're helping that woman remember is that when she comes to face an awesome challenge, she has many more resources available to her than she might have thought in the past. She's got her team, she's got herself. She can do things that she might not have thought she could have done.
Would she or I project myself into all my what if NBC, do I have the option to say no thank you?
Yes, you always have the option to say that's not something I think I can do safely, that's not something I think I should do. We would ask you to look at whether you're afraid of failing in front of your peers, because both we and your peers will make sure you don't fail in front of them.
You think you could talk me into it?
We would ask you to try.
All right.
And then if you thought you couldn't do it, we'd give you the option of not doing it.
Well, we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Thank you both for joining us this morning.